What's going on, y'all? This is the 2ManGame podcast. This is the inaugural episode. I'm your host, Dante, with my co-host, KC.
What's good with it, y'all?
Hey, man, this is long overdue, man. This is something we've been talking about for a long, long time, man.
Yes, we've been waiting to do this for a while, and we're finally here. So we're ready to deliver and give y'all some good sports talk and some good laughs, hopefully, and come enjoy the show.
Yeah, that's something we take pride in, though, giving like really good opinions. You know what I mean? Not talking out.
Yeah, I mean, we're both, we got some sports background, and we want to, come on here, talk some good talk, give you guys some good takes. We want to hear your guys' opinions on everything too. So
get you guys involved with a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, exactly. So today, we're just gonna kind of dive in, not get too much into the sports world necessarily. We kind of want to introduce ourselves and kind of show you guys who we are and how do we get to this point. So we're excited to share our experiences with y'all, and let's get into it. So let the people know. Dante, tell them about yourself.
Yeah, so I grew up in Washington, D.C., a little suburb outside of D.C., Clinton, Maryland. We're home of the Hoopers, man. We got a lot of them. That's what we do.
Nah, you guys do it. Yeah, you guys do, bro. Right. You guys do.
But yeah, man. So I started playing basketball early on. Boys and Girls Club.
Classic.
Not too far from the house. They were called the Clinton Jets. The Clinton Jets.
Okay.
We had these little green unis on. You know what I'm saying? We had the little planes on. It was corny, but we did it. So
it's
after
a kids
that,
thing, so
right,
you're good. You're good.
Right. So after that, I moved to middle school ball at Stephen Decatur Middle School around the way. I was, probably the smallest dude on the court at all times. But, it was a good experience. So my middle school team, we were crazy. Like we had, I don't know how many guys over like 6'2". You know what I'm saying? So
in middle school?
In middle school, yeah. So it was crazy. It's funny though, because so we used to have practices, right? So we used to do this thing where we had to slap the backboard. So obviously,
there's no way you were doing that.
Right, no way I was doing that. It was no way I was doing that. So it was funny. It was always funny because we had, like, I want to say 13 guys on the team, right? So after you would hear 12 smacks, you know what I mean? You wouldn't hear the last.
There's you slapping the net a little bit,
right? Slapping the net
like that.
But I'm going crazy. Like I'm going crazy. Like,
hey, bro, I ain't mad at you, bro. I ain't mad at you.
Hey, it is what it is, man. So after that, I played AAU ball for a team called Southern Maryland Hoopsters, which is based like probably 30 minutes from DC. We had a pretty good team, man. We had a bunch of guys that athletic, run and jump, that type of team. I would run the one or whatever, get the ball out, let these guys go. You know what I'm saying? Let them
just
run.
Eat. Yeah. That's the whole AAU game nowadays.
Especially
just running guns. So.
That was so fun. Like, you're playing 2 games a day most of the time.
Sometimes 3.
Right. You get familiar with the same gym. Like it's like really fun.
Man. There's nothing like AAU. That's
like
the real deal. That's fun. Yeah.
I got a funny story. So this is probably my first AAU game. I wouldn't say first, but the first one in a hostile environment. You know what I mean? So you know how that's, you all shook.
Everyone turned it.
Yeah. So me, I was shook though. Like I was nervous. I'm legs shaking and all this stuff. So this is probably the first quarter, man. Like I get fouled, right? We all hype. Yeah. In my head, I'm like, I'm about to miss these free throws. So I probably psyched myself out early on.
Yeah, it sounds like you already did, bro.
Yeah, I psyched myself out early on. So I get to the line, first free throw. I probably landed midway through the paint. Like it didn't reach nothing, didn't hit the net. And I'm just right then and there. I'm just like, please, man. Only thing I was thinking about the next one was like hit the rim at least. You know
don't airball at least.
Right, don't airball the second one.
If I'm gonna miss, let me just at least hit the rim.
Exactly. Let me hit the rim on the second one. So the second one, I hit the rim, and it was all good. But AAU was fun, man.
Yeah, definitely some good memories with AAU.
Yeah. Then I transitioned to baseball in high school. It was sort
multi-sport athlete. athlete. Okay, I
Right.
like
So
it. I like it.
it sort of felt like I had to pick and choose. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't know why
yeah,
felt like I had to pick and choose, but at the point I had never played baseball. But I figured, since I was quick and all this stuff, I was like, let me do it. Like I was always into
yeah,
baseball growing up. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
Just like you are. So
yeah,
always into baseball. So I'm like, yeah, let me try baseball out, man. So my first year, I played JV, and then the next 3 years, I was, moved out to the varsity team. And
yeah.
I tell you, like those trips, man, with baseball players, that's like, the, everybody
Yeah.
turning up on the bus rides to,
I mean, there's a lot of people on a baseball team, so
right, right.
I can only imagine how fun that was.
Yeah, it was amazing, but that experience was amazing.
Yeah,
So then, that brought me to Fisher College, where we both attended. I spent
mm-hmm.
5 years there. 3 of those, I was the team manager for the basketball team,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is, a great experience. You get to see how things run.
yeah. You got to see things from not as the player's standpoint, but kind
Right,
of kind of like the coach's eyes, but
right,
not necessarily obviously because
right,
I mean they're worried about so many other different things,
right.
but yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely,
They had me doing all the little stuff, laundry,
yeah.
all this other
I
bullshit.
mean, I know you had some good times as the manager laughing at
Oh,
us and stuff like that
oh yeah,
while
for sure, for
practicing and
sure.
stuff like that. So
You laugh because you ain't got to run. That's the big thing.
yeah, that's
You
probably
know?
the best thing. You kind of get all the perks of being on the team necessarily, but
Yeah,
not obviously not playing, but
yeah,
you get to just see everyone suffer during the
yeah,
early stages of the season and stuff
yeah.
like that.
Get all the gear.
So
You ain't got to worry about nothing.
yeah, no, exactly.
And then lastly, I played. So Fisher, my last year I played. Um, and again, another fun time, like traveling with the team. At this time, you're on it.
Yeah,
So, it's
yeah,
my first
exactly.
taste. It was my first taste of college basketball, and it was a whole
Yeah,
different monster.
yeah, whole
Whole
different
different monster.
monster.
Like the athletes
So
and
what?
everything.
Well, no, I was just gonna say like, what were your impressions on it from going from team manager to actually on the team? How was that transition?
It was hard. It was hard because
Yeah,
you fall into that lifestyle, obviously in college, where
yeah,
alcohol plays a part in a lot of stuff. So I was out of shape going into that final
yeah,
year. Out of shape.
yeah.
I remember that first time we ran, I probably couldn't feel nothing on my body. I was like, it really felt like I wasn't breathing. Like I was just like, no way,
Yeah,
this feels like this, man.
yeah.
Coming in
No, I
last,
feel that.
every run, it was tough. It was tough.
But I'm sure it was, it was worth it though to, obviously with being the team manager, you had the team chemistry, but being actually, a part of it, I'm sure that was good. So
Mhm.
that's dope. I'm
Yeah,
sure you enjoyed that a lot.
yeah, definitely enjoyed it, man. Not a lot of people get the opportunity to play college basketball or
Yeah,
college sports
no,
in general.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
the
no,
opportunity right
exactly.
there in itself is like, yeah, I'm here. I better make the best of it.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. I
Mhm.
definitely feel you on that.
Yeah,
But
man. What
yeah,
about you, man? Talk about you. What's up?
yeah, I'm born and raised Santa Cruz, California. It's like a little beach town, it's pretty small town, but definitely loved it out there. Started playing basketball when I was pretty young. I liked all sports, but basketball
Mhm.
and baseball were definitely my two that I kind of fell in love with.
Mhm.
My first taste of kind of team, like a real team setting, was middle school.
Mhm.
Uh, uh, and then we weren't very good when I was in middle
Right.
school. At
Yeah.
least I think we might have only won like one game, if that, my first
Yeah.
year. So that was
Sheesh.
like sixth grade.
Yeah.
And then after that, we got a little bit better. People got better, but
Mhm.
yeah, it was, middle school basketball is fun. You don't got to worry about nothing. You're just a middle schooler, so it's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah. But that
you're
also
still
teaches
young,
you.
just hooping.
That also teaches you a lesson early on.
Oh no,
You
definitely,
know what I mean?
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
then I also played AU. I think I started playing AU maybe my seventh grade year.
Okay.
So that kind of gave me an opportunity to start playing with people who I would eventually go to high school with. So that was like a good time for me, AAU, you get to hit the road, go, do these road trips, stay in hotels, when you're young, you love that stuff. So
exactly.
AAU was fun, a lot of fun. Then I get into high school. I played JV my first year. I was pretty good in high school, my freshman year, and then I get called up to varsity for my sophomore year, and then play on through there. We had some really good teams when I was in high school. We had my senior year, our class, 4 out of the 5 starters went on to play college basketball. So we had a good team. We all played together. The year before, we were really good too, made like a deep playoff run. So a lot of good experiences in high school. We had a good team, and also kind of, I wasn't starting my sophomore year or my junior year. So that kind of shaped me into, being more of a team player and not worried about the other stuff. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people would transfer, things aren't going their way. They like to, escape from it, go find an easier route. So
you gotta understand that you're not going to score 30 every time you touch the floor.
No, exactly. So when I was in high school, that was a good learning opportunity, kind of being able to experience winning. But sometimes I'm gonna be playing some more sometimes, and some games my number's not gonna be called, and regardless of if I'm playing or not, being able to be a good enough teammate to want to see someone else on my team succeed, regardless if I'm playing 30 minutes or 2 minutes,
being coachable, man. Being coachable.
Exactly. So I learned at a early age, about that. And then going into college, this is kind of crazy. I wasn't really expecting to play college basketball after my senior year. I don't know if it was burnt out or just or I maybe didn't think I was good enough at the time.
Right.
So I went to junior college, this junior college, Cabrillo College, local, in my hometown. Took like a basketball class just for fun, me and my buddy Jerry, just to stay in shape, play basketball, why not? That sounds pretty fun.
Why not?
And so the coach of the team, of the Cabrillo team, was the teacher of the class. And like I'm like 18 years old. I'm in like the best shape of my life, probably, like killing, playing really good in the class,
Right.
So I got invited. That was the winter semester. So in the spring semester, I got the invite to kind of try out for the team, but also start working out with the team. I was playing against the team, to see where I was. So basically that whole winter, my game definitely stepped up from high school to,
so is that where you were like, yeah, this is probably where I want to take it to the next level?
Yeah. Because
I can compete with these guys.
Yeah, because I was playing against the dude, the other point guard who I was guarding was the MVP of the league. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, he was cooking me sometimes.
But you were still getting yours.
But I was, when I was able to, when I saw that the players were respecting me and letting me like run the offense and stuff like that, giving me the ball, showing love, I was kind of made me feel like, okay, like I belong a little bit. So fast forward to the summer, I didn't hear back from the coach all summer. And so I'm still grinding, trying to make the best of my opportunity, so I'm ready whenever he calls. And he called me one time, kind of, it seemed like he passed on me, which I was all right with. I was kind of, I even thought it was kind of far-fetched, but I was like, all right, whatever, let's we'll see. So then probably like a week after he said he wasn't interested anymore, I get a phone call and he's inviting me on the team. So that's kind of how I got my college career going. And then with Cabrillo, I mean, first year I was probably like the end of the bench. I would only get playing time. if it was a blowout or we were killing them or stuff like that. But this is like the first half of the year. But I stayed positive, stayed ready. Still in practice. I didn't come with a bad attitude. I knew how to play my role. You know what I mean? If I'd rather be winning, and maybe not play, but still give my support and stuff like that. And I stayed ready, and finally, once what was this league play came around, and the coach finally gave me an opportunity, told me I was gonna I made the rotation, gonna start playing, and from there on, my my career was. I mean, I wasn't like killing. I was just a solid point guard, gonna take control of the game, and let kind of try to get my teammates going. So played 2 years at Cabrillo. Kind of was done with it, was kind of burnt out. I loved Cabrillo though, met some good people. We had a good ass team. I got to play, got to be on the bench, got to, I got both sides of it. So I was really happy with that. And then kind of was similar to, before I went to Cabrillo, was kind of done. And then I ended up hearing from Fisher College. And from there, it was over. First, that was the only school who wanted me after Cabrillo. Yeah. And I thought it was meant to be. And now I spent 2 years there. We weren't the best team, but I had some, met some good people, had some good times.
Definitely.
Had some, I got to play college basketball. So I don't think, I think that's all you could ask for, for a guy who wasn't. Yeah, for someone who wasn't expecting to play college basketball and ended up playing 4 years and won 2 championships and so I had it was a good career. It wasn't great, but it was for personal, like playing wise, it was I can't ask for anything more.
Yep. So that's just like a bunch of life lessons, and it's just what I heard from both of our stories.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's up and down. It's up and down. You can't get too high, can't get too low sometimes.
Yeah, exactly, and that's that's for everything. So, so who were some of the players who got you into basketball?
Man, that's a great question. So obviously the main answer here is Kobe and Shaq. Right. Yeah. So I was born in '97. Obviously, that was right before, maybe before I started remembering stuff. Like, so this is like 2000, 2001, 2002. But they just stood out to me because that's it's when you're younger like that, that's what you want to see from basketball. You want to see the excitement that they brought. Every time Shaq got the ball down low, you know what he's gonna do. He's gonna tear the rim off the basket. He's gonna cook. Yeah, he's gonna tear the rim off 9 times out of 10 or get fouled. And then Kobe, Froby, as what we called him back in that day. Man, Kobe,
he was ahead of his time.
Right, doing everything you wanted to see. Also, Vince Carter. Right, so Vince Carter in the early 2000s, up until
who's that dude?
Yeah, from like the 2000s to like when he was with the Nets. You know what I mean? Like he was just that guy, the go-to scorer, and he's doing the same thing, dunking, windmilling.
Yeah. And he even worked on his game. Became a good 3-point shooter too.
Yeah. And I think who was it? Somebody just said he was like the most talented player they've ever seen. It was something.
I did see that.
Yeah.
Richard Jefferson.
Richard Jefferson. Yep. So he's like the talent. He had so much he could do.
He was good. He was
I just wish he would have won a championship though. That's the only thing. I just wish he would have won a championship.
Yeah. I agree.
Obviously, AI.
Yeah. How could you forget AI, bro?
Can't forget AI, man. The tattoos. Everybody wanted to be like AI. And something that stood out to me was that he was on like 3 straight NBA live covers. So he was on from like 01.
If you're doing that, doing that, you big. So
yeah, exactly.
That's tough.
And that was around what the PS2, PS1 days. So AI definitely. And then also the Malice in the Palace. So that was in 04. I was 7 at the time. And I remember I had never seen anything like that in a sporting event ever.
Yeah.
And it was just
I mean,
like
you don't see
what?
that often.
Yeah, not at all. And it was just like exhilarating, bro. Like you see Ron Artest go in the stands and punching people. It's like
fans
what?
throwing beers, fans coming onto the court. Like, like, you don't see that often.
What? I remember
those fans had some balls, man.
Yeah,
they had
like
some balls for
what
that.
is going on here? Like, and then also those Kings teams in the early 2000s, they got me going.
Yeah. I agree.
They just had a lot of names that you just remember.
Yeah.
Right, when you're little, you know what I mean? So, yeah, what about you, man? What got you into it? Who got you?
Yeah, well, continuing with the Kings, Mike Bibby was like my favorite player, one of my favorite players growing up. I don't know what it was about him. Like, I don't know, but Mike Bibby, I loved his game. Like when he was on the Kings, he was that dude.
Yeah, he's that guy.
I got AI too, you know what I mean? Like I remember playing mid county. This was like, a kids league. I ended up cutting up a sock and
putting
like
it
a long
as a
sock
sleeve,
and putting it as a sleeve, and I was already rocking the headband, you know what I mean? So like AI, he's for the culture for sure. So yeah, like, and I mean the AI crossover, like, when I'm young, that's all I wanted to be, you know.
Right, you had
AI,
to bring it all the way out here, and
exactly. So of course Kobe too. I mean, if that was my era of growing up and stuff like that. I mean, I'm a big fan of Jordan, but I didn't obviously get to catch him older. So yeah, definitely Kobe. And then I had D Wade too. D Wade was one of my favorite players growing up. His little floater when he was young, just so those definitely the four players that really stuck out for me and kind of pushed me to want to keep playing and stuff like that, imitating them and stuff like that. So definitely those.
Yeah. I mean, well, growing up a Wizards fan, like Gilbert Arenas for me too.
Yeah,
he was that guy. So I went to so many Wizards games growing up, man, and to see him score 40, it was just like the best thing ever. You know? I got another funny story. So back in, I want to say this was the first year that Jordan came to DC. Right?
Okay.
So this is probably 02.
So like 01, 02, was it?
Maybe 02, 03.
Okay.
I think it was 02, 03. I mean, I was 5 or 6 at the time. I don't remember too much, but my aunt, she brings me to a Wizards game because obviously she knew somebody in the front office at the time. So he's like, "Yo, come down, bring Dante. We're gonna get him an autograph ball, all this stuff." I'm like, okay, So I think it got to halftime, right? So they had 5 players standing on the court with autographed basketballs. So Michael Jordan was one of them, and then Brendan Haywood, and then there was some other guys. So we go down onto the court and we stand in front of the guy that's going to give us the autograph ball. And I line up with Brendan Haywood. So no disrespect to Brendan Haywood, but nobody wants an autograph.
He was a solid NBA player.
He was a solid NBA player. But if you got Michael Jordan standing to your right, you know what I'm saying? I'm just looking up. And you know how they say people give off like that aura. Like they give off like they're glowing or something.
You get that,
like it was literally like he was glowing, bro. I'm just like, there's no way I'm standing next to Michael Jordan right now. But I'm not getting the ball. So I was just upset. Like I wasn't upset, but I was upset. It was I was like,
a little salty kid not getting your way.
I'm like, man, that's Michael Jordan, dog. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. No, that's definitely that's a good story. So like what other like early NBA stories do you or your earliest memories, I should say?
So this is like not a fancy, I don't know how to say that, but it's not fancy, but the Spurs. So like around that time, like the 2000s, they won 3 out of 5
Yeah.
So they won in 03, 05, 07.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always like the norm to like hate the Spurs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, so I hated the Spurs, bro. Like I just couldn't stand them because they didn't do anything that you wanted to see. But they played. Once you get older, you appreciate that because they played really.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's a fact.
Play really good basketball. Passing and cutting. They ain't worried about who's scoring 30, who's doing this, who's doing that.
They're just gonna play good basketball and great defense and just.
And I couldn't stand Bruce Bowen. Bruce Bowen, I really could not stand that guy. He was such a good defender. You're just like, bro, just get out of here with that, bro. Like,
just stop, bro. Yeah. Just stop. Like, getting under people on the closeouts too and stuff like that.
And back in that day, it was legal. You could do whatever you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, that Derek Fisher shot against the Spurs.
Classic.
That .3 shot, which is probably the greatest shot ever.
One of the craziest shots ever.
One of the greatest shots ever. Just based on 0.3 seconds. Like, we all thinking like you can't get that shot off. Like,
that shot was how hard that shot was to make, fading away. Everyone's expecting the ball to go to Kobe, of course.
Exactly.
D-Fish, slips open, fade away, out of here, like.
And that was sort of like the staple of like Derek Fisher's tenure. Like, it just
definitely.
Always hitting big shots,
Always playing good in the playoffs. Once playoffs came around, and like if he's open in the playoffs, I think he's gonna make it.
I want Derek Fisher. Every single time.
Yeah. Not Iguodala. We want Derek Fisher.
Fish, baby. I want Fish. Matt Barnes might not think that, but we want.
I don't think so. We won't get into that.
That's it.
But I'd say those are some of definitely the early memories for me. The Kings and Lakers, like all those good playoff series, like those were always like those stuck out to me. I don't know why. I mean, good basketball, and Kobe, Shaq, and then my dude Mike Bibby, C Webb, and the rest of the crew.
Christie and Peja on those teams.
Vlade.
Those were some tough teams.
Yeah, they were definitely tough.
Yeah.
And then Malice in the Palace, of course, is like an early memory. Like seeing that take place, you're like, well, this is supposed to be basketball, like, like what's going on, So definitely that the D-Fish, that was crazy.
Yeah.
And then Michael Jordan's last All-Star game, that one, like, I remember watching that and kind of getting the butterflies of, oh, I want to be there, be there one day, so that definitely those are like my early NBA and like basketball like memories where that made me like, okay, like I love this stuff. What I mean?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So those are I would, my early basketball to kind of get me into loving it.
Yeah. Another thing though, the LeBron hype, because he came in 03.
Yeah.
Everything, man. Like every magazine cover you saw was just LeBron.
Yeah.
He's gonna be this, he's gonna be that. And it's funny because I remember my dad, man. This was back in that time. My dad was like, he ain't gonna be nothing. He was like, he's just getting hyped up too much for him to be this good. And then I remember that first game he had against the Kings. He comes out, has like 25. Little breakaway, breakaway dunks. He's hitting fadeaway shots, and after that, he was like, okay, he might be the real deal, So,
no, I agree with that. I mean, shoot, basically our whole childhood, LeBron's been doing his thing, and he's still doing it in, still 2021. So it's I couldn't agree anymore with you on that one.
Yeah, just like Tom Brady, man. Been there since we were before we even remember.
Yeah, no, exactly. They you don't really get to see people like that come around very often. So that's a person who I couldn't stand, Tom Brady, until I actually went to school in Boston and got to kind of see the appreciation people have for him, but also just being older, understanding the game more, and just kind of just seeing what he was able to do. I mean, you remember last year at the Super Bowl, I'm looking at you like, hey, bro, like this dude, he's a little different, man. Like, like, seven championships is nuts. So kudos to Tom Brady, man. And
very tough.
The way he's looking right now,
hey, might be on the way.
As of right now, he may be the MVP. He may be the MVP front runner right now. So I mean, we'll definitely keep an eye on Tom Brady and what he's doing. So, getting into some football, what do you think about the season so far? We just ended week 2, going into week 3. So it's still early, obviously, but what are your first impressions on the season so far?
Again, man, Tom Brady, that's number one. Like you say now, like how long can this last? Like, you're 44 years old. You know what I mean? Like,
I hope when I'm 44, well, I don't think I'll be throwing touchdowns, but
maybe in the church league somewhere.
I'm hoping when I'm 44, I'm able to still hoop in a church league or the city league and be like half as athletic as what he's doing right now. Because 44, I don't think he should be doing what he's doing. So
it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing for sure. So far for me, what Kyler Murray's been doing, like he has the speed of Lamar Jackson, but has the cannon of the top quarterbacks in the league. He's able to do everything. So right now he's definitely one of the people I'm going to keep my eye on for the rest of the year, what he's been doing. And the Raiders too. The Raiders are 2-0. Beat two good teams. They just beat 2 playoff teams. They beat the Ravens week 1, and then the Steelers the other day. Steelers were dealing with some injuries, but there's no
TJ Watt ended up getting hurt. But they just couldn't get nothing going. So far, the Steelers right now, their offense, they just can't get that going.
Yeah, their offense looks pretty poor right now. It's early though, and hopefully, Big Ben, they said that he has a little injury or something like that. So, as the weeks go on, we'll see how that plays off. Do you have any surprises so far? Like what you're surprised about? I mean, we're only 2 weeks in, so
we're only 2 weeks in, but it's a couple of teams that are 2-0 that like the Broncos. I know they've
they ain't really played nobody yet. They ain't played nobody yet.
But I mean, anytime you start a season 2-0,
it's impressive. It's impressive for sure. To win any game in the NFL. Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor for the Texans. He's looked sharp. Like before he got hurt.
Hopefully he's
hopefully he just can't get a break, man. I remember when he was with the Chargers last year. He had some issues.
Doctor puncturing his lung.
Like,
what are you doing, Doc?
What you getting paid for? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you getting paid for? So that's just hopefully he can come back from that. Carson Wentz too, man. I hope he can get back on because I don't know.
2 ankles rolled. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like that. Like only. I don't think I've ever heard of that. 2 different ankles, like getting messed up like that.
Yeah, that's weird. And I don't know, man. Like, he hasn't looked sharp the last 2 years. Ever since that good year he had in Philly.
Yeah, it's too bad. I'm like a big Carson Wentz supporter, but it's hard to support him when he's not doing his thing.
Yeah, you gotta do your thing.
So far, for me, I think the surprise is Josh Allen right now.
Yeah, hasn't looked good.
He was like an MVP candidate damn near last year. Bills were rolling. I mean, it's only 2 weeks in, so I hope he gets keeps doing his thing. But so far, he just hasn't really looked like him, at least like himself last year. Yeah. He played 2 good defenses. The Steelers obviously got a good defense, and Miami got a pretty good defense too. So but I mean, they smacked Miami though. But
it was 35-0. They couldn't play good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean their whole team was playing good that day, but Yeah, so far I think just Josh Allen, and I mean I would say Aaron Rodgers, but he just threw for like 4 touchdowns last night. So
yeah.
it's
Well, I
kind of
just
hard to say.
I'm gonna keep my eye on Aaron Rodgers because I mean he played the Lions.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I
that
agree.
first week he didn't look good. And obviously he doesn't want to be there. I mean it's no secret he doesn't want to be there. So
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that all plays out. But
how that plays out.
I mean, we're gonna just have to, enjoy. We're only 2 weeks in, so let's keep enjoying
so
some
far
good football.
Another thing, primetime games have been really good. Besides that Packers and Lions game, all the other primetime games have been really good. That Raiders and Ravens game, that's
My Bears weren't very good though. Sunday night Rams. We'll just skip over that.
Yeah, we'll skip over it. But week 3,
we don't need to get into that.
The Rams play the Buccaneers. That's the game I want to see.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. That should be a hell of a game. Yeah, the way Matthew Stafford is playing, he's making that Rams offense look pretty good. So I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Mm-hmm. This is his year, man.
Yeah. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the 2Man Game podcast. If you made it this far, thank you very much. And we will see you guys next week. We're going to go into some early NBA predictions and, talk a little bit about the NBA season. So we're looking forward to it and see y'all then.
That's it.